things. Goddamn. Let's do this pregame style, shall we? Preseason, pregame. Nothing else going on in town tonight. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the pregame show.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, there it is. We are remote today, not in studio. Why? Because the Avalanche are hoisting the banner, and also the Blackhawks in town. They took our other studio, so no studio for us, but it's the last day. Tomorrow or sometime later this week, we'll unveil the brand new studio.
Oh,
worked so hard on, and it looks mostly the same.
It's like largely. You probably wouldn't notice. We made it bigger. That's more for us than it is you.
It looks great, Eric. I'm teasing you. It looks fantastic, as do you. Right, live from the art hole. There it is, D-Line Co.
Dude, I could not feel better. The Avalanche are doing something, but the Nuggets are playing their fourth preseason game against the Clippers. It's our number one preseason rival, I would say. Once the season starts, all that's out the window. But preseason, you got to beat the Clippers.
You got to beat the Clippers. I'm also joined by the man himself, preseason Dev.
I just super sad that I couldn't be at the bar celebrating with my people.
Oh, bro.
Avs, is it their first game or is it the preseason? How does that work?
It's the first game, Dev. Come on now.
First game of the season. It's time. We back.
We back. We do have a bunch of content for you guys right now on our YouTube channel. If you didn't see, we released our first preview for our player preview series, the rookies. We got more dropping tomorrow. You're not going to want to miss those. It's one of my favorite things we do every year. We always have a good time with it. It's like that's like the on switch. That's where we 1 week away. Nuggets have an actual basketball game in 1 week. D-Line. You can get ready by watching the preview. See what Eric's bold predictions are this year.
Yeah, I think I might want to rewatch those myself. I don't remember them. And I imagine in that we record many of those back to back to back. They get a little unhinged the further we go. So we'll see.
Let's get into some notes, guys. You guys want some game notes tonight?
Please.
Nuggets in Los Angeles taking on the Clippers for preseason, and Nikola Jokic is back. He is back.
Whoa! What?
He's back in the starting lineup. He will be playing. Which on two levels. Number one, means we get to watch Jokic play, which is always great. This game just got like 10 times more interesting for me personally. I think that's the most important note.
Yes.
And number two, I said that if he was not back by Wednesday for this game, that I would start to get a little concerned, not panicked, but a little concerned. So seeing him out there tonight, seeing that he's available tonight, we saw him shooting the other day. To me, it lowers my sort of concern level. What about you, Dev?
Yeah, my concern level is not there anymore. I feel like he got some rest. He also gets to get into a game where it's not a lot of pressure. I feel like in that first game, it was like trying to work people back and things like that. I feel like it's been a long time since I've seen like a real Jokic basket. So I just want him to actually be.
We didn't see one last time, did we?
Yeah, try to score and just try to. I mean, he could be himself. So this is like a tune-up type of game for him. I feel like we'll get a regular, type of game from Jokic. I'm tired of seeing Tyler Hero and players like that score 25 and stuff like that, and no one does that for the Nuggets.
What about you, Eric? You excited that Jokic is in?
I'm of two minds on this. First mind is like you. I'm very excited because we're watching this game and there needs to be something interesting for us to follow. But then you're like, should you play him? Should you just rest? Jokic is not exactly a guy you need. This is like To put it in NFL terms, like when Brett Favre would never show up to preseason, everyone made a big deal, and then you just come out and throw like 5 touchdowns the first game, and it was like no big deal.
What do you think about D-line comparing Jokic to Brett Favre here, Dev?
Yeah, the best human, to the top human to the most despicable one. I see a clear parallel.
Why would you do something like that?
You know what, guys? I wasn't thinking about it. All right, I didn't think it through all the way.
All right, here's the thing, though. Here's what I'm actually excited about. So Jamal Murray is also out. That's a bummer. We'll talk about that in a second because maybe that means, he's out because of his hamstring, which is just, it's kind of crummy. He of all people needed this ramp up to kind of get going. So the fact that he's missing yet another game, that definitely makes me, I would say, concerned. Like, again, not super concerned, but now I have to elevate it from not an issue to now like maybe slight issue. Bones Highland is also out tonight with that ankle injury, which is a bummer because I would have loved to have seen the Bones Highland, MPJ, Jokic trio. That's like a completely different look than we're used to. So that would have been fun. We didn't get that. Jeff Green is going to rest. DeAndre Jordan's going to rest. I wonder if they just chose to rest together. Like, oh, he's resting. All right, I'm going to sit with my buddy on the sideline.
Yeah. Are they at the Padres game?
The Padres game. Oh shit. You might be onto something here. Here's what I like though. The starting lineup came out. And listen to this starting lineup. Bruce Brown is starting at point guard alongside KCP. That's your backcourt. Your front court, Michael Porter and Aaron Gordon next to Nikola Jokic. I'm telling you, I don't know if we would have ever got this lineup in the preseason unless it was for circumstances like this. And I love it. This lineup doesn't tell us about the real, like the Nuggets, their most important lineups, this or that. But we've always wondered, could you play Bruce Brown at point guard? Could you play a defense that features KCP, Bruce Brown, and Aaron Gordon all at the same time? We're going to get a look at that with Michael Porter. To me, that makes this game very interesting, at least that combination of players, if they play 1 or 2, maybe 3 stints together. Dev, are you as excited as I am to watch that group play?
Yes, especially just like these type of lineups force you to like just tinker with like things. We got to see Bruce Brown last game play a little bit point guard and try to be a facilitator or a playmaker and things like that. And those are questions that you wanted. But also now you have like defensive lineups, you have tall lineups. Like it just gets to force you into like just being able to just tinker around with things. Also, the point guards, you get to have Ish Smith as the backup point guard. Maybe he'll get some like starter minutes. You never know what's going to happen in the season. So just getting different guys, playing with different guys, but also with Yoke being the focal point again. I think that's like the most important thing with defenders around him and some shooters. So I just like the idea of the opposing team does not know what you're going to do. I don't think you know what you're going to do. So you get to like just look at it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like that is the thing about the preseason. If you don't try to answer some of these questions, you're doing it wrong. Like this is just right. You just mess around. Like I'm really curious to see what it looks like to have Bruce Brown run the whole show. I mean, he revealed himself to be so quick to me last game in like a way that I was not at all expecting. So now I'm like wondering like what is the sky, what is the ceiling for this guy? Like what can we expect out of him? I really thought of him only as just sort of like a complimentary player, the 3-and-D, if you just want to keep overusing that tired term, but like a guy that just is out there to play defense and sort of be a specialist on that side of the ball. But my God, man, now I'm like, dude, let's see. Show me. Show me what you got, dude. Like, but in the same way that MPJ showed us what we had last time, and it wasn't a lot, but like hopefully Bruce Brown has a lot he can show us that he has.
It's meaningful to me, though, that MPJ is back in. I mean, this is 4 games in a row that he's playing. Like, we've talked about some of the guys not playing this or that. I think Michael Porter is a hooper. He wants to play. He doesn't want to take. He said this on media day. Like, I don't want to take it cautious. Like, I don't want to ease my way in. If I'm healthy, I want to play every single night, all 82 games. And this is sort of, in my opinion, a little bit of evidence of that. And then also, Bruce Brown, KCP, Aaron Gordon, all low volume players. Jokic, obviously high volume. Michael Porter, high volume. In my opinion, Michael Porter's best moments of his career have come alongside Jokic when there has been no Murray. Like, okay, let's see what you two can do together. And tonight, you've got some very good defenders, unselfish, high IQ players around that. Yoke's going to be looking for Michael Porter extra today because that's, the number one scorer that'll be out there outside of himself. So to me, I'm actually very excited. This is like one of those things where I look at this and I go, we're going to learn something about the team tonight. Maybe just a little bit, just a little tease, but we're going to learn something about this team tonight that we do not know at this very moment. And it's specifically about that lineup. I am curious about Bruce Brown. I don't see him as a point guard. And
do I.
And this is why it's interesting. Do you need one next to Jokic? Can Bruce Brown handle that duty, Eric? Or do you think this is going to be like extra heavy lift on Jokic?
It's interesting. I mean, you see what it looks like. We've seen it in the past when Jokic plays with like a not so dominant one, he just becomes the one, and you have like way back in the day when Moutier would just have the ball and he would, as the second he came over half court, he just passed it off. Like he was the point guard by name only. He didn't actually ever initiate the offense. But I don't know, like, let's see if there can be another 2-man game develop between those two guys. Like, I don't really expect that at all, but I also just know that the NBA season is a long goddamn war of attrition and people always get hurt. People always it's like, there's so many times when the season starts, you're like, oh my God, we've got all these guards. And then 2 of them get hurt. You're like, we don't have any goddamn guards. So like, it's good, man. You just want to see what these guys can do. And Bruce Brown is just such an unknown to me. So I kind of hope Jokic doesn't do that much, honestly. Like, I hope he just sort of like feeds. Like, I would like to see Jokic in just facilitating mode tonight, like getting MPJ confidence, allowing Bruce Brown, like just all the. I want to see him like get the other guys going because I know what it looks like. I know what Jokic can do, right? Like, I just don't know what these other guys can do off of Jokic, and you just have to see like if Jokic gets these guys the ball in the right place, like can they knock the goddamn shot down? That's always the question when you play alongside Jokic.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that, Dev?
No, I think that absolutely not. For one, but there was like multiple things there. Like one, I think that I think we're underselling how much MPJ is available and wanting to play.
Thank you. Yes.
After like a big injury. He's playing in every season. I mean, every single game. He's not, limiting his minutes. He's not playing in different ways. He's still throwing his body around and playing, the same way before he got injured. So I think that that's a great thing that we really just probably, I don't think it's getting spoken about enough. But he's not even talking about it. So it's like he's just like, I'm back. Like I'm ready to play. So I think that's big. As far as answering Bruce Brown at the point guard spot, I think that is great because I think that with the guys that he's playing with, everybody plays the correct way. You have to make the extra pass. You cut, you play without the ball. And then you have a guy in MPJ who can create for himself, but also Jokic is going to give him that space. So it's not like Bruce Brown is going to have to set guys up. Those are 3 guys that just work without the ball. One guy you could give the ball in space and he could create for himself. And then you have, the best player in the league. So that just makes it easy for him. So I think that is great for Bruce Brown to say, okay, I can, handle the ball. Yep. I can, try to facilitate if I want to do that. I could explore my game. As far as if I want Jokic to step, I really think I want him to just dominate one game. Just to like
Me too. I'm with you.
You guys just want that though. That's just like a personal preference thing. Like,
no, I really
just want it to be fun to watch.
I think you have to do it. Like I really think that if you continue to just be like, I'm going to be passive, I'm going to pass, I'm going to do this, guys are going to step out of themselves. Jamal Murray and MPJ need to come back and know like the Nuggets are really good because their best player had the ball every time, and then you work around him. He doesn't need to adjust his game, and then it's back to where it used to be. He's elevated his game and stepped out in so many different ways that if you're not adjusting to him and he's adjusting to you, who really is the best player in the world?
No, but don't you think? Well, but don't you feel like because this game doesn't count, like it's better to just have players that aren't like a proven commodity? The only proven commodity we have on the starting lineup right now is Nikola Jokic. Everybody else is like a huge question mark. We don't know what we're getting out of Murray. We don't know what we're getting MPA. We don't know what we're getting out of KCP. We don't know what we're getting out of new role Aaron Gordon. So like let's get all these guys in their new role in just up the facilitation of that tonight. Because like when the lights are actually on and Jokic is like, yeah, I'm not passing it to you, but when I do, you need to be ready. And now you had 10 times to practice that instead of 2.
Man, it's much to my surprise, Eric has swayed me. I am
Let's
now
go!
ruling neutral. I like both
Let's
outcomes.
go.
Both
Let's
outcomes
go.
sound great to me. Also, part of this with guys not playing tonight, we're going to get minutes, most likely extended minutes for some of the other guys, and maybe even some extended run with Jokic. Like we have not seen a lot of Ish Smith, Nikola Jokic. We might get some of that tonight. We haven't seen too much Zeke Naji, Nikola Jokic. We might get some of that tonight. I mean, Zeke Naji should play 30 minutes, I'm guessing, tonight with no DeAndre Jordan. Jokic probably not going to play that much. So Zeke Naji should get a good run, maybe with Jokic. And we might even get Christian Brown. Like, again, so many guys are out that the guards all get elevated up a spot. And Christian Brown, to me, was a guy who was drafted to be a Jokic player. Like, he's not a creator. He's a shooter and a defender. Well, in theory, a shooter. So to get him on the court with Jokic, maybe that's the way to bust him out of this confidence slump, is let him play with the guy that's going to get him the best possible looks. So I'm excited for that. This is why preseason, I get, Eric, the feelings you have about preseason, not necessarily into it, but for someone like me, I'm really into it because you do get these combinations that you just, we probably won't see these combinations again, maybe all year, but at least for long periods. So I'm excited to get it. Let's talk real briefly. Jamal Murray not playing, and it is because of the hamstring. Is that, he came in, he played one game, he played a couple minutes of another, and now he's out. Is this concern you about the ramp up for him, Dev?
Yes, just because I wanted him to play a lot more minutes. Also, was just getting closer and closer to the regular season. And we don't know what his limitations are. We also haven't seen him get to just get some live action, game action. And then another injury happens. So he's already trying to play himself into the injury that set him down for a very long time. And then a new one comes, which could have been part of the old injury. So you just don't know what that does to a player's psyche, and just trying to get back into a zone. But also, I just want as many game time reps as possible. If you could get them in the preseason where it really doesn't matter, that's how you get yourself going. So I do hope that in the next two games, they just play them. Just let them go. Does not matter. You can just do whatever you want just to try to get some game time action.
It would feel crazy for him to not play, except for that one half, basically, in preseason game number 1. And then the first night is opening night in Utah. To me, that would be absolutely insane, Eric.
Yeah, it is it's not concerning because you're well, you're there, you're going to err on the side of caution. Why push it if it's preseason? None of this matters, but it does mean he got hurt. He got hurt, you know what I mean? Whether or not it's so that's not great. He hurt his leg, he pulled a muscle, for whatever reason, ramping up to that level of speed and competition, hurt his body. So that's not fantastic. I don't love that, but it is. I guarantee it's that situation where if he needed to play, of course he could probably play, but you just want the guy on the floor. You want him to. You really just want to get how you guys know this, how easily you can lose your wind, how easily you can fall, you can be in peak physical condition and then just lose it in a week.
And with a hamstring, that's one where I just know this from back in college. Whenever you had hurt a lower body injury, but it wasn't going to be that long, you had to do the arm bike to stay in shape. And that's the hardest workout there is. Yeah. And honestly, it's hard, but it's also impossible. It's 50% conditioning because it's almost more hard on your upper body than it is on your lungs. So it is true. He's probably not running a whole lot. And there is maybe a little bit of concern about already could he play 25 minutes without getting too tired? We don't know that because we haven't seen it. So maybe this does become a thing. Nonetheless, we'll see what happens on Friday when they go to Golden State, the Chase Center, the scene of the crime. We'll see if they try to bring him back then. The one thing I'll say, Eric, and you kind of hinted at this, I think this shows you how the season's going to go. When we talk about how many games is Jamal Murray going to play in a fully healthy year, he probably, a little hammy tweak. Maybe he misses one game, but it's hey, we're not being too cautious. This year, hammy, hey, we're not until it's 100%. We're not going to risk anything because if you have a little bit of a weak knee and a weak hammy, that's when injuries happen. So when we talk about can Murray get 60 games in this year, it just shows you how hard it is, how hard that's going to be to get 60 games when you're being this cautious. So we'll have to wait and see. But guys, we got to move on to our next topic here, which is, I don't know if you've been listening to podcasts lately about the NBA.
Not a fan.
Not a big fan, or reading articles per se. There's a lot of people that are taking Denver, and they think it's weird, man. There's this weird thing where everybody thinks they're going against the grain with I've got a sneaky pick, guys. Going outside the box this year. It's the Nuggets, and then everybody on the panel is also taking the Nuggets. There's something weird going on, Dev, where nobody thinks they're the favorite, but yet everybody's taking them as their sneaky pick. What do you make of this? Denver, Bill Simmons thinks Jokic can win a third MVP in a row. Why not? He thinks he's the favorite. Zach Lowe thinks the Nuggets have, he has them in his inner circle. Dan Devine, Dan Favale. I'm not going to say Wozny Lambrey, one of my favorites over at Ringer, might be a podcast dropping later this week where he picks the Nuggets to be it. So there's just a lot of guys. What do you make of it?
I don't like it.
Me neither.
It's just, this is a spot that, everyone that's watching is not used to being in, we're used to being the underdogs. We're used to watching a team where guys have to prove themselves constantly. Even Jokic being a back-to-back MVP, I still don't think he gets the credit that he deserves. So for people to just switch over and think that that's the pick, it's like, where is this coming from? And it's a lot of doubts that they have. And then if it goes bad, they're going to go right back to where they came from. So like, it's a weird spot to be in. So stay where you are.
If you're on that side, stay on that side.
Stay on that side.
Here's what this tells me is that like people are finally paying attention. Like the Jokic thing is like really starting to finally seep into people. Like they're like, okay, it was like such a hipster thing to choose him as MVP, and then like again, and like no one believes it. And now they're like, I don't know, maybe there's something to it. And and they're getting Jamal Murray back, and they're getting him. I mean, they see what we see. Like that's the crazy thing is like we think this. It's just we are way too damaged emotionally to really come out and in a serious way, say that the Denver Nuggets are the favorite. I mean, we're saying it seriously because I truly believe it, but we come from we're hurt as a people. We have a damaged psyche. We can't even use the S word without people getting mad in the comments. The smug. I stopped. I didn't say the whole thing. We can't even allude to the idea of being confident. Otherwise, everyone
you can allude to it. You just can't speak the unspeakable word. Here's the thing, Eric. What was the card we got for the Nuggets fan base from our good witch Ariana? I can't remember what the card was, but it was something about don't be afraid to be confident now. Like you got to, death to Nug life. No, stop thinking everything's going to turn out poorly. So maybe this is one, because I typically would go, everybody's picking Denver. That makes me uncomfortable. But maybe it's one of those ones, you know what? Everybody sees what we see. This team is special. If things break right, we have a chance. Let's go for it, man. But it is noteworthy. Everybody picking Denver. Kind of weird.
Awesome, dude. This is what it feels like to be a Lakers fan.
The reverse devil. That's right. The reverse devil.
Let's go, dude. Yeah, you guys are trying to hang on to hell. I'm trying to let go, dude.
We got the reverse devil, baby. It's time to move on. I love it. All right, we're gonna do a new segment here real quickly where Eric doesn't think he thinks preseason very predictable. Not a lot of takes you can, and he's probably right. To test that theory, Eric, I need to know. Peer into the future 3 hours. What is your takeaway from this game? What did you observe from this game tonight?
I cannot believe that the Denver Nuggets, led by Bruce Brown, found their new best lineup. Jamal Murray is not even necessarily. He's relegated. Like, what are we're considering a full turnover of rotation. Jamal Murray on the bench, best six man in the league. Let's go, dude! What a takeaway! What a game!
What a takeaway!
Wow, that's really spicy. I did not see that one coming. Dev, what's your big takeaway from the game? Peer into the future. What was your big takeaway?
Let me channel my inner Dev. Yoke is back.
Oh, let's go.
No passive Yoke. We're back to scoring. We're back to doing whatever the hell it is we want to, and it's going to be a big game. I can't believe we're talking about how he's just scoring whenever he wants to again, and he looks better. Why does he look better than last year?
Let's go, dude.
Wow, I can't believe that take. Wow, I'm excited for it. That'll be good. Here's my take.
Dude, are we going to get a logo soundboard?
Why is he doing a soundboard from the logo? Nobody's guarding him.
Because he's got the range now, dude. He's
got the range. Here's my take. I think I've noticed this already in the preseason. I think this is the thing I've been alluding to. After the game, we're going to be saying, man, Yoke sure is looking for MPJ a lot this year, isn't he, guys? He really is calling his number a lot. You can tell Jokic is going out of his way to accommodate Michael Porter and to make him feel involved in the offense. There's no Murray tonight. There's no Bones. There's just a bunch of guys that don't want to ISO. I think Jokic is calling MPJ's number tonight. I think MPJ has a great night. In large part, thanks to Jokic playing alongside Jokic and those two having a great chemistry tonight. That's my prediction.
I love that. That's a great. I actually, for a real prediction, I just think coming out of this game, I think I'm going to be hyped on AG. I think AG is going to go off tonight. I think Jokic is going to feed him. He's going to be.
Who he's matched up against?
Marcus
Morris.
Let's freaking go, dude. Oh, God damn it.
Now you're looking at
let me breathe that one in. Yeah, it's gonna be great. That AG game. That's what it is.
All right, I like it. An AG game. I'm also gonna predict Christian Brown up and down.
Oh wow.
That's not even a predict. Like, what do you think? Do you think that was hot?
I'm just saying. What if our takeaway is, wow, Jack White? Speaking of which, we didn't even talk about this in the post-game show the other day. Jack White hit the backboard first on a free throw. Do you guys see this?
Like, it was sent to me. Yeah.
How the hell is this the guy, the best shooter in the track practice deal?
I couldn't believe
I've missed some free throws bad. Like, worked out the day before, you came up with a little bit of a short air ball. I've never been long. I've never had a free throw that went long and hit the backboard.
Dude, he was charged up. He's got to work out his,
Have you ever done that, Deb? Have you ever missed long on a free throw?
No, people usually air ball. Like,
you're short. I could see it.
You don't overshoot it. That's crazy. That's called the Moutier.
Oh man,
it was so funny, man. It must be hilarious though, being a guy like that where you get your first minutes in the NBA, you're all amped up, and you just like, oh ship, man, I was way too amped up.
Or like it's just like every time that the game opens and they have like the shot from the musical performer or somebody that or some like other sport athlete, and they get to shoot one shot at the beginning of the game and they just miss it 98% of the time. It's short, whatever. They're in their head all day. It's like, I can't believe they have people do that. It's like way worse than an opening day, like an opening pitch. Like an opening pitch, you can you just got to get it there. Like, dude, making a basket in front of that's like the most like terrifying thing. It is so like amazing that you get.
Wasn't it Jamie Carey, Dev? Isn't that who it was? Was it Jamie Carey? Who was it that missed the coach at East that missed the free throw? The airball, the free throw. Rudy Carey, yeah. And Rudy Carey went out there and missed it, and you think, oh my God, a legendary Denver basketball coach.
Oh, he like airball. Like,
he airball.
Bad shot. Like, come on, man. We just hyped you up for this. We brought you up for this.
The team had a terrible practice that next day. They're like, dude, we're not listening to this. This guy's been yelling at us. Oh my God.
Yeah, there's one guy. Do you remember when Vic went out there? Lombardi?
Yes, all-timer.
Crazy. That's a smart play, though. You just go to the 3 point. Even if you miss it, it's like, oh, that was badass. He drained it. I was like,
I think
he hit the backboard. He Jack Whited it.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, Vic. That's how you know Vic's the man. Even when he's off, he's on. All right, Dev. As we always do, we open up the DraftKings Sportsbook app, and like complete and total degenerates, we bet on preseason basketball. What do we got tonight here for
0 for 3 Dev, dude? Who has
keep it going. Let's bet against Dev tonight.
Who has a better percentage? Jack White at the free throw line or Dev with bets?
Look, see, the scary part is I have a positive thing to say. So do I switch it?
Dude.
Oh no.
See, now you're on the wrong side of this. You gotta just go with your heart, brother.
I'm like the reverse devil or something like that. Like, how does this happen? So I'm gonna go with, I think the Nuggets are gonna win this game. I think
oh shit!
I'm taking the Clippers then.
God damn it! I'm gonna watch the Avs game
together. And Dev gets it together. I'm not preseason Dev no more after this. I'm gonna be back to superstar Dev as soon as I win. The reverse Dev is in full effect.
The reverse Dev.
It is happening.
The reverse Dev. Dude, yes.
That's too funny. All right, Nuggets +3. All right, we're doing it. He thinks the Nuggets get a little win here tonight.
+3.
I can't believe I'm excited for a preseason game here. Bruce Brown, KCP, Michael Porter, Aaron Gordon, Jokic. That's a hell of a 5-man lineup. No idea if it's going to work, but it's going to be interesting. We'll be back, though. Win or lose, we're going to be back breaking it down. People have asked, is the game on TV? Absolutely not. You got to find an illegal stream. All of us have to find an illegal stream, too. So if you have one, DM it to me. We're going to have to go find that right now. We'll see you guys on the other side.
Hold it down.